Today we're going to tie the Clouser. This fly was invented by a guy by the name of Clouser, and he tied it predominantly for largemouth, smallmouth bass back on the East Coast. And then Lefty Cray discovered it, and he started tying it a little larger on saltwater hooks and used it for just about everything: striper, bass, whatever else they have over there in the saltwater. It migrated out this way and became very popular for sea run cutthroat and coho. So you notice that it's got a nice broad profile on the side, and along its length it's nice and narrow like a bait fish. So very effective fly. Easy to tie, only a few materials. So let's get started on it. What we're going to be using today is some olive thread. This is a size 140 denier. The hook we'll use is a size 4 saltwater hook. It's a straight eye, and it's 1x strong. The bead we'll put at the front, or actually the lead eyes, are a small red size 4mm. We're going to put a couple strands of crystal flash in this chartreuse lime, and then for the belly it'll be white bucktail, and for the back it'll be olive bucktail. A couple of other colors that are really good for the back are chartreuse, and if you're targeting coho, then pink. A pink bucktail is really good for coho. So let's get a hook in the vise. And we'll get our thread started. We'll back here about the 1/3 mark is where we want to put these eyes. And so we just want to get the thread started and build a little bump right here. And we'll rest the eyes against that bump. And take our bead and we'll place it here against this bump. And we'll make a few cross wraps here to start it. And we'll come underneath and we'll wrap the other way. And now that we've just got it set there, we'll take a little bit of Zap-A-Gap, or you could use head cement or Sally Hansen's hard as nails, whatever you have, and just put a drop or two right here, and that will help set it. And I recommend doing it when you just have the eyes set there, so that your subsequent thread wraps get bonded into the glue, along with as you're wrapping around the shank and the eyes. And remember to make these helicopter wraps, because that pulls all the thread wraps together and tightens everything up. Alright, once you've got them secure, then move toward the front of the hook, and we'll get our bucktail ready. When we're choosing our bucktail, we want to make sure we choose from the tip of the bucktail itself. The fibers here are smaller, they're denser, so they won't splay out, they won't crush and splay like the ones down at the base would do. So we just want to grab just a small pinch or so. Snip those off, and then we want to clean out all the small fuzzy stuff and take out anything that's a little too long, doesn't look right. We don't want to stack this. It's better to have them look uneven. It gives more of a better bait fish profile. If you need to check whether you have enough or too much or too little, simply take it, give it a quarter twist and measure it against the eye. It should be about the same width of the eye, and then you know you have about enough. Now this actually is for the belly of the fly, because as these eyes will make this roll over as you're fishing it, so the white actually becomes the belly. So we want it to be about twice the length of the hook. So somewhere about in here looks good. So we can come in here and cut this. So then, holding the hairs at an angle, come in here, make somewhat of a soft wrap to capture them all, pull straight up, and then make increasingly tighter wraps until we bind this down towards the eye. And we come under the eye, and holding the hair up a bit, we pull down, straight down, and make several wraps to bind it behind the lead eyes, and then we can make open wraps to the bend of the hook, and then back again, under the eyes, and back to the front of the hook. Here we can make a 2 or 3 turn whip finish, or just a couple of half hitches would be just as good. And that's just to hold the thread while we turn the hook over. So if you have a rotary vise, you can simply spin it, or you can pull it out of the vise and put it back in upside down. Now that we have our fly inverted, we'll take 2 strands of the flashabou, or the crystal flash, capture them in the thread on the one side, make a few wraps to bind it down, and we'll take the remaining, pull it across the other side, bind it down. So now I have them both running straight between the eyes, back over the hook. Now we're ready to grab our bucktail for the back of the fly. Now, as we did for the belly, we do the same thing for the back. We come to our olive bucktail, and we just grab just a little bit more than we did for the belly. We grab a bunch of hair, snip it off close, get rid of the stuff down here at the bottom, the extra small fuzzy stuff, and then pick out any extra long ones that don't look like they belong. So now we have semi-even tips. So we take the bucktail and we lay it across the top here, and we make sure it's just about the same as the belly was. Even it up the backs, gauge where you want it to be, and then let's cut off the excess. We come in at an angle, a little loose wrap, a little tighter wrap, and then bind down towards the eye. Make sure you split the hook about even with the hair, and then build up a nice cone head with the thread. We can clip away these strays. And then put on a 4 or 5 wrap whip finish. Remove our thread. And give it some head cement. Pull these crystal flash, cut it off just past the end of the tail, and there we have our finished Clouser.